On December 11th, Ashes of Creation will launch in early access on Steam, and beforehand there has already been a lot of criticism because fans expect many negative reviews. But Steven Sharif and his team seem to be addressing exactly this problem right now because on the public test servers, various changes are being tested. These changes relate to early game onboarding, the leveling phase, the gear system, and greater protection from PvP. And this could become really exciting. At the beginning, mobs have been given rations as a new drop. This buff food restores health and mana, and normally costs 60 copper from a vendor. For newcomers, that was expensive, but thanks to the change, they now save money and have new healing options at the same time. Additionally, mobs grant 20% more experience, and the time required to reach level 10 has been reduced again. This makes the entire beginning easier and smoother. You'll feel a sense of progression faster and become stronger more quickly thanks to new abilities. Becoming stronger is another good keyword. In addition to faster level ups, there are now new quests from levels 1 to 9 through which you can earn gear. The gearing process was recently heavily criticized. It was tied to extremely high grind. Sometimes you had to craft your equipment, which was expensive and required gathering and travel work, or you had to hope for random drops from monsters. Now, however, there are guaranteed ways to upgrade your worn armor and weapons, giving you clear tasks and clear goals. This was always missing at the start of Ashes. There were some tasks, but you could very easily lose your sense of direction. This is now addressed through destinies. This is somewhat comparable to the journal from Albion Online. You get basic tasks like visiting a point of interest or collecting 50 plants, giving you a path to follow. The third major change for newcomers is expanded protection from PvP. Initially, there was no protection at all, meaning new players could be ganked from level 1. Later, protection up to level 5 was introduced. Now it has been expanded further up to level 10. From now on, it also doesn't matter where you are in the game world, while previously it was limited to starting areas. Lastly, crafting has also been reworked on the test server. Players had voiced a lot of criticism. They requested cheaper, less grindy systems. That's exactly what's being implemented now. The number of required materials was reduced, the dependency on specific biomes and their resources was removed, and reagent prices were lowered. These are fundamental adjustments that have been requested for a long time. Overall, however, these adjustments seem somewhat contrary to what Ashes of Creation originally aimed to be. It was described as an old-school MMORPG focused on grind, long leveling phases, and lots of PvP. Sure, PvE elements like dungeons and world bosses were planned from the beginning, but the concept differed significantly from modern games, which are very beginner and solo-friendly, while Ashes wanted to focus on group content. But now they seem to be bending, at least somewhat, toward what mainstream MMOs do. From my perspective, this is exactly the right move. However, I'm curious about the long-term impact this could have on other systems and the overall direction of the game. Will these measures only apply to the start, or be expanded later? That remains open. Beyond the major changes to early game progression, the December 11th patch brings a lot more. For one, there will be a complete wipe. Everyone starts from scratch again. It doesn't matter whether you play on Steam or the standalone client. Everyone will be on the same servers. In addition, a new class and the Harbingers are being introduced. The Harbingers are a PvE faction that appears in events and attacks players. You can complete these events together, ignore them, or even sabotage them through PvP, since it's theoretically possible to attack other players in event areas. If the events aren't completed successfully, they spread across the world and activate new phases with new mechanics. With each phase defeating the ancient commander, the Harbinger's main leader, should become easier, ending the event cycle. Such a cycle can last a few days or even months, depending on how actively players engage with the events. The Harbingers also bring new lore elements and new rewards. Finally, the patch also introduces deep-sea fishing. Ships have been available for several weeks, and now you can decide whether you want to fish safely in lakes or go out to sea for rarer fish at the risk of being attacked by other players. So the big question, is the early access launch on Steam worth it? If you can wait, then wait the first few days or weeks, watch some live streams, and see the reactions. If they're positive, then with all the changes mentioned here, Ashes of Creation could really be much better than before. But we must acknowledge that a lot has happened over the past year. Ships were added, the new starting area was introduced, nodes now reach stage 4, new monsters and resources were added, PvP systems were reworked, and so on. Finally, let me emphasize that the early access release on Steam will not require a subscription fee. The subscription model only begins with the full release. There was some confusion about that recently. What do you think of the new changes? Are they good for Ashes of Creation? Or do they dilute the game's concept? And what else do you think needs to happen for you to enjoy this game?